Is it? I'm sorry. Are we recording? I
Yes.
want to make sure that we're recording before I start. I have to start over. All right. So, hey, hi everybody. Today is August 4th, 2026. I will call to order the Madison Common Council Executive Committee meeting. Karen, can you please call the roll?
Yes. President Madison,
Here.
Vice President Glenn,
Here.
Alder Ugair,
Here.
Alder Okovich,
Here.
Alder Jung,
Here.
Alder Lieberman,
Here.
Alder Lankella,
Here.
Alder Vitiver.
Here.
You have quorum.
Thank you. So next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from July 21st, 2026. Vice President Glenn, a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Second.
Oh, okay. Thanks, y'all, for catching because I'm exhausted.
I'm sorry, who was the second on that? Alder Vitiver, you are currently not a voting member because there's a full house.
I will second it.
That was Alder.
Povich. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, is there any objections to record a unanimous vote? Seeing no objections, we will record a unanimous vote to approve the minutes from July 21st, 2026. Next on the agenda is public comment. I believe we do have at least I can see on my end, 2 speakers registered for public comment in the public comment portion of the agenda. The first person on the list I see is I believe is Nancy Cantor. Is Nancy available?
I don't see Nancy. President Madison?
Oh, thank you. Is there a Gideon Elliott available?
I don't see Gideon either in the attendees.
Oh, I'm so sorry. They also marked not speaking, but I'm using a very small second monitor. Okay. So, all right. So we will move on to disclosures and or recusals. Do members of the body have any, so members of the body should make any required disclosures or recusals under the city's ethics code. Are there any disclosures and or recusals? Seeing no hands up, let's move on to the next item. The next item is Register Item 94218. There were a few registrants who did mark that they were wanting to speak on that item. That item is All Alders Email Data Project. For IT, do we have a Karen or Karen Chacon?
Someone just came in as a number. I can let them speak to see if that's Karen.
Okay.
They would need to press *6 to unmute.
For the person on a phone who just joined, if you are Karen or Karen Chacon, if you want to hit, was it what was the star number?
6.
*6 to unmute. Okay, then maybe it's not them. Okay, do we have a Natalia Marie Acerillo?
I can leave the caller unmuted, or excuse me, with permission to talk in case that's them.
Okay. Just give it a second here to see if that's them. All right. The last speaker, at least registered to speak, is Tessa Jade Price. Okay, so I'm just going to go back just to be sure. We don't see a Karen in the queue, or we're not sure if that's the person on the phone. If Karen is not available, the next speaker would have been Natalia Marie Acerillo. If that speaker is not available, then the next speaker would have been Tessa Jade Price. Okay, so seeing that we don't have any of those speakers registered, I'll just give a quick update then on item, and someone please let me know if either of them do joins after the fact. But I'll just give a quick update. This item, all email data project. I just asked Isaac with the amount of emails that we've gotten to organize those emails by a better organized opportunity to take and disseminate that information and figure out what next steps might be best appropriate for some of the emails we got. So it is not really a huge update. Isaac, I believe, will have a summary snapshot available for us at our first. I'll ask him to send us an update by the time we get to our first September common council meeting. And then I would imagine he'd have a full update by the time we get to our first CCEC meeting in September. Because we only have one. It's the second meeting. All right. Any questions about that or any feedback on how you might want him to organize the information or organize those emails?
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm
Alder Vitiver?
following what the goal is.
Oh, so yeah. Yep. So I asked, so the goal is we've gotten ton of emails over the last week or two. And the emails, there are multiple topics sometimes. Sometimes there are multiple topics in one email. But I've just asked him if he can organize the emails, to make sure we're not missing any themes or information that folks are wanting to share with us. Because some of them are asking for specific things like, something NPD related, something about, there's some emails about Willie Street, for example. There's some emails about small businesses. But I just really want him to organize the bulk of emails we've gotten and just put them in a way that we can sort of like take the information in and decide on whether or not we want to take any steps on what on items we've received in those emails. So a cleaner way for you to find what we've received, basically. Because again, some of the emails also end up in our spam folder. I've caught a couple in my quarantine. So we all may not have seen the same emails based on, how we're reading our emails. So hopefully that makes sense, potentially. Any questions, any feedback, you can always send it to Isaac and CC me or just send it directly to Isaac. All right, so going on to Legistar item number, or agenda item 2, which is Legistar item number 94076. I'll look to Karen for a update on the District 1 vacancy appointment process.
Ooh, working with one screen. Sorry about that, everyone. I might be a little bit slower here. Okay, so I appreciate the feedback that I've received so far regarding the interview questions. Wait, I should probably start at the beginning. We've received, sorry, I'm just looking to see about this. We've received 3 applications, and the applications period has closed. So I double check folks' addresses through Find My Alder. And then I'll prepare the applications and provide them to you and the public before CCEC meets on the 1st to do the interviews. And then that's when the interview, on the 1st, we'll have the special meeting to be able to do those interviews. So, and I guess the second part of this is the interview questions. I sent those out and I'm requesting feedback on your top 3. So far, I've received 2 pieces of feedback and they've liked question 2, 3, and 4, both of them. Also in that was if you'd like to discuss any of the questions here, or if you have a new question that you'd like to propose, this would be, I believe, a good time to offer that up and have some discussions. We'll take some notes so that, So I think that's where we're at so far.
All right. Are there any questions or feedback on the questions? Alder Lieberman?
Thank you so much. I think that the question 3 in your list, the one about equity and inclusion, I think is particularly important given the events of recent weeks. So I would really, if we can only have a select number of questions, I'd really like that one or something along that same vein to be included. So I just wanted to give my opinion on that. Of the other ones, I think that question 1 and 2 both will lead to similar answers. So I don't think we would need to include both of those. But just having a question that allows the applicants to talk about their experience and what skills that helps them bring to the table. And then for the third question, I think all the other ones have various merits, but something along that vein of explaining their background and then something talking about how they embody equity and inclusion. I think those would be good for the first 2 questions that they get asked.
Thanks, Alder Lieberman. Alder Opowitz.
I have 2 questions, but one, can I double check? Are these questions going to be supplemental questions in writing, or are these questions that we will be asking during an interview process?
Sorry, these are questions that you'll be asking during the interview process. They'll be provided to the applicants in advance, all of the applicants in advance, so that they have a chance to think about what they'd like to say. But these are the ones that are offered at the time.
Okay. And do we typically only choose 3 questions to send ahead of time?
So over the years, there have been some different iterations of this. There was an opportunity a few years ago to go through this a number of times. And it's kind of, when I went back to look through how it had been done in the past, it evolved. So at one point, that was maybe 6 or 8 questions, 2 rounds, multiple sessions. That got whittled down from their experience of doing that down to 1 round with fewer questions. I believe for District 19, there might have been 2 questions at that point. There were 3. There were also 3. Okay. So that's where and so I think and I don't want to speak for President Madison, so she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she wanted to get, your thoughts on that and get your top 2 or 3 and then kind of go from there on this with a time limit on the questions so that, folks have some parameters.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank
you. Yep. The goal was at least to hear your top 2 to 3 questions, and then we could decide whether or not we want to add any additional to it.
Yep. And
all right, Alder. Go ahead.
I was just going to say.
Go ahead, Alder Opowitz.
Karen, 2, 3, and 4, I think are my top 3.
Perfect. All right, Alder Lankello.
So I think I'm going to ask the same question again. How many total questions we will be asking the candidates? Each candidate? Same set of questions, right? So we're not adding additional. So everybody gets equal, same answers, right? Say same question.
Yep, it's my understanding everybody gets the same question. This conversation is really for us to determine, are there questions missing that you might all want to, add to the list of questions to consider?
Okay, yeah, so that's, I think I am also with everybody else, 2, 3, and 4 good. I just wanted to add a point about, wanted to learn about the conflict of interest versus ethical dilemma, if they ever have to handle that one. Given an example is what I was thinking, which is probably something 4 can be added into that question, like what would be the critical issues of their districts, or is it how did they ever had to handle a conflict of interest?
That makes sense. You have it, Karen?
I am taking notes on this. I'm not sure if I would add it to that question, only because that question is quite long, but we'll just take notes and I think figure out how to make it
Yeah, so I just wanted to, because in this position as alders, everybody has their own personal interest, but also there is a community interest. And how do they handle the conflict of interest in that scenario?
Okay, so this is a different. I've got you. Sorry, I'm just going to jump in. This is a different question than I thought. I think using the term conflict of interest can be a little bit misleading because, as Attorney Hassel point out, the ethics code does have that language in a very specific sort of meaning. And what you're talking about is actually something we actually ask in our job interview questions because it's such a good one about what if you feel. If you have a personal opinion and then we can think, do you mean like in your constituents have expressed an opinion that goes counter to your personal opinion? How would you resolve that tension? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, you got it right. I think now
I'm gonna write it.
When you reiterated it, now I realize the conflict of interest would be another one. I own a business and I'm also trying to represent that. That's not what I meant here, is their personal views versus the greater good for a city, right? So just how do they handle any specific examples of a conflict of interest?
Sorry, y'all, I'm taking notes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alder.
I mean, beyond these questions, is there also like I figure probably like a written statement or like to explain the background or like tell me about yourself kind of introduction?
Karen?
Been a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, they are required to write that in their applications. There's going to be a resume. It covers their background. It covers a number of things by ordinance. So that will, I mean, it's not to say you can't ask it as well, but just to let you know that there will be information in the application package as well.
Okay. Yeah.
If that.
I see now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are there other questions or feedback about questions for the District 1 interview process? And Karen, do you mind just reminding us of the timeline? Alder Lieberman and then Karen.
Yeah, I know previously, I think prior to the last couple of appointments, council members would ask if an applicant was planning to run for a full term in the seat if they were appointed. Is that, I guess this is more just a question for the group here. Is that something that people here care about, that we think we should be asking folks about their intentions there? I know like pre-COVID, there was sort of feelings some folks had that if you were appointed to a seat, you shouldn't run for it. But I think some of the feelings on that have changed over time. But I just wanted to make sure we had that discussion here instead of waiting until the day of.
Yeah, Karen, I'm confident, I'm sure I know what Karen's answer is because it's in the application too. But Alder Figueroa Cole followed by Alder Lankella.
I mean, if you guys already have an answer for it, I would like to hear what Karen has. I mean, I don't know how many of these already, so.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I didn't realize this was in the ordinance. Does the ordinance actually state that we have to ask in a question setting of the interviews?
It's a list of things on the application, but I'm checking in case there were changes.
We had done, I think that became relevant maybe on the first time that we did this, but at the end of the day, it's the voters to decide who wants to, if they want to keep that person or not. So I think we didn't really hard on that question after doing it so many times.
And I'll just be transparent. It doesn't weigh one way or another for me because there are a couple of us who were appointed and we decided to run and got elected. So I'm more interested in, can they do the work? Are they a fair person? Are they equitable? Those sort of things. And actually the logistics of doing the job as alder is more important to me than whether or not they decide to run. Okay, Alder Ugair, followed by, oops, I thought I saw Alder Matthews. Yeah, so Alder Ugair, followed by Alder Matthews.
Confirm that I think back in 24, January 24, I was the last person to go through this process. And yes, it was as required by the ordinance, the answer, you had to answer the question about whether you would run again, but then we did not pursue it in the actual interviews. And I think, as you pointed out, President Madison, the history recently, certainly a long history in District 19, is applicants for unfinished terms and run again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks, Alder Ugair. Alder Matthews.
Thanks, President Madison. I just wanted to share the context for my district that where I think there were several applicants, including myself, who had said they wanted to run, and at that time were not appointed. But just to share with everyone, the timing for that was literally like December of the election year. So, you know, it was really like when elections were starting versus now we have still, you know, quite a few months, though, you know, it could be time. But yeah, and I think that's the only time in recent years that I've heard that happened that way.
Thanks, Dr. Matthews. Okay. Any other last feedback or comments for Karen? A note? Seeing none, I'm going to go to item number 4, which is legislature item 93157, council leadership updates. I have no updates because we've been, I think all of us fairly busy. So my updates is I now have District 1's email box. So if you all like to know that. Going.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's any way the rest of us on CCEC could help with that inbox, considering everything else going on. If there are any ways we could help you with everything on your plate there?
Yeah, I appreciate that. What about you and I and Karen just find an offline time, or, you know, we'll still be online, but, you know, out of this meeting to chat about it. My bad.
I can help as
Keller.
well if you need it. President Madison, anything there, the IT side of it. And I hope it is not coming multiple times for you when they say all alders. You receive that email like for District 1 and District 17. Do you receive both of them twice?
Yes. 2 alders. But, you know, it's just what it is. It's what it is. Comes with the job. Lots of things comes with the job, unexpected and expected. So
yeah,
I appreciate it. But but I appreciate that. So Karen, please note that Alder Lieberman and Alder Lane Keller, so maybe we just switch off where one week is, you know, 14 is helping and the next week is 7. We'll see, because it may not even be necessary, but at least it will be helpful to help, you know, keep the all alders one cleaned up and organized, because John or Alder Duncan was very organized in his email box. So yes. Okay. Any other comments there? Seeing none. So moving on to, oh my gosh, to never have to use an iPad for your second monitor. So going to agenda item number 5, which is legislature item 93169, council office updates. Karen?
Yes, and I am sorry, real quick IT note, we have Alder Harrington McKinney in the attendees list. If you could promote her, please, to panelist. Thank you. I also don't have much in the way of an update. I'll send you a list of staff out of office, and my tip of the time is how to access the registrant report. So you can, all the alders have access to through their city credentials. You can actually go in and get that, and you can refresh it. So you don't have to wait, for example, for IT to send it. And that's true for any upcoming meeting, there's a time frame that you can access from. You drop down, click. I have some brief instructions on that. Just wanted to, let folks know that was possible to do. And I will see if there's anything else our Aspire intern, who will now be our council intern for the fall, comes back on the 31st of August. So again, if you have projects, please reach out to Isaac, and he is helping with managing the workload for the intern.
Thanks, Karen. Any feedback, comments for Karen? Seeing none, moving on to agenda item 6, which is legislature item 93168. Future agenda items. I'll just add, I got an email from Alder Lieberman about having Chief Patterson present. So I'm just trying to figure out how that might work and when we could do it. Because again, we don't meet again in September, I think September 8th. But just to let you all know that he is on the agenda, I believe it's his quarterly report. So I'm working on the logistics of having him answer some questions for the council. And then I do believe I'll be able to get a snapshot from Isaac, likely soon after our meeting today. And so I'll also use some of what he is summarizing for us as potential future agenda items. But if anybody has any future agenda item suggestions, please be sure to email them to Karen and I to consider if you don't want to share it here or you're not ready to share it here.
The future agenda items I just wanted to talk about really quick. And one of the items I'm going to meet, supposed to be yesterday, couldn't make it. So tomorrow I'm meeting with the IT director, reviewing the e-comments about the software and other issues that recently about people signing up can't join, kind of IT issues. I'm gonna review. Being an IT architect for the state, I hope I can bring some of my expertise and help. And then whatever I find out, I'll bring back to the CCEC and the team and present my findings.
Perfect. So maybe we can just add Alder Lankella's IT discussions to the, September 22nd CCEC? Does that work, Alder Lankella?
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Ooh, what is happening to my screen here? Okay. Are there any other comments or questions or feedback about future agenda items? Okay. Seeing none. So that was the last item on the agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded by VP Glenn. Okay. So we all understand we're all, exhausted, various phases of exhaustion. All right. So move for blah, 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 blah. So is there an objection to record a unanimous vote for adjournment? No. All right. Seeing no objection, we will record a unanimous vote to adjourn. All right. I will see you all in a little bit.
You want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
Yes. Her face. Yes. Bye. Bye-bye.
All right.
There we go.